To discuss this some more, we're being joined by the former high school teacher turned journalist Eric Blanc. He's in Oklahoma covering the strike for Jacobin magazine. Hello, Eric. So thank you for joining us. And what has the scene been like in Oklahoma these last 2 days?
Well, it's been really exciting and very explosive. We weren't sure whether the strike would happen. The governor made a deal last week, made some concessions to the teachers and to some of the state workers to try to persuade them to not strike. And the amazing thing is, despite those concessions, the teachers and the state workers decided to come out yesterday, and they came out even stronger today to demand not just more pay, but full funding for schools and state services.
So the stats I have read about the teachers' conditions in the United States, I find them shocking. Why has this not been high on Washington's agenda? And why has it taken a backseat to your president's foreign policy? One would assume that making America great again would include properly funding education.
Right. Well, that would make sense. Unfortunately, both the Republicans and the Democrats are very much beholden to big corporations. And so what that's meant concretely in Oklahoma and in most of the country, honestly, is that there's been huge tax breaks for the rich, for the corporations, and that's been concretized in cuts to education and other social services. So this is actually what has been planned by the government. They want to whittle down public education and instead replace it with things like charter schools, a form of privatization, so that they can really dismantle public education. And what this struggle in Oklahoma and in West Virginia is showing is that there's an alternative and that people aren't just willing to let our schools get destroyed.
Now, apparently this isn't just happening in Oklahoma. Teachers are also striking in Kentucky, and I understand in a few other states. Do you expect to see teachers in even more states join in? And these teachers are striking for better teaching resources. There have been a lot of discussion about school safety taking place. How is that affecting the classroom as well as the low resources?
Right. So as far as the strike and movement spreading, yeah, we should anticipate, and it already has spread. So Kentucky, for instance, yesterday had a major work stoppages and protest inside their capital in Frankfurt, almost as big as Oklahoma. Another state to look out for is Arizona. There's been a mass movement, and there's talk of a strike there as well. And clearly, the attacks on the schools is a health issue. It's a safety issue. And it's really, it's a, more broadly speaking, an attack on working people and the people who depend on our schools. So safety, for instance, in Oklahoma is really catastrophic. We've seen photos of schools in which their roofs are collapsing, in which the chairs are broken. And so it's really, it's a shame that in the richest country in the world, there's not money to give really basic services to students that need them.
Now, Eric, you are a former teacher yourself, so I need to ask, when you see the kind of priority education is getting in the United States, or it's not being prioritized in the United States, and you're seeing teachers responding, but you're also seeing students protesting for safety in their schools, what does this make you think?
Well, I mean, I'm inspired. I think the whole country is inspired. So whether it was West Virginia or we see the student walkouts for gun control and against gun violence, or we see the Black Lives Matter protest against police brutality. I think really what we're seeing is that people have said enough is enough. Working class people, young people are trying to take their destinies into their own hands. And the exciting thing is that it seems to be spreading, and it seems to really have caught on that at this time, people feel like they can struggle, they can win, and that they can really make a difference in history.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for talking to us, and I can't wait to see your piece for Jacobin magazine. Thank you so much, Eric, for talking to us.